Yeah. How we doing? Yeah. Happy Tuesday, y'all. Previously on Kimba TV. Whether it gets approved or not. I mean, so if it gets approved, then I think it'll cause like another quick little pop, you know, but it's probably gonna be like some goofy ass failed auction or a swing fail, probably a failed auction, and then poo-poo. You know, back to like 32 or 33. I'm drinking one of the best coffees I've had in my life. Let's see here. Alpezy, Berbeezy. Alpezy says, Kimba, did you get some Philadelphia? Negative. I still just have the same 15. I didn't want to set any alarms, if you remember. So no, still have the 15 biddy. It is so weird to see such a small ass position size. Throws me off. Every time I look at it, I feel like I got stopped out or something. Mario Fibonacci says, did anyone get wicked out? Well, shout outs to everybody that was asking me where my stop loss was. So I didn't get wicked out. Why does my mouse keep freezing like this? We got real close to what we were talking about, going all the way down to the PDEQ. Look how close we got to that PDEQ, Bugatti. Yep. Other than that, I mean, these are all, you know, poor highs. So very high probability it's going to get swept. So just being patient. If you need to, that's what I'm kind of doing right now is I'm just, like I just looked at the Bugammas, right? I'm just going to get caught up on all the data. But yeah, if you got filled, that's fucking awesome. It didn't have like the greatest reaction at the golden pocket, but that's a Kimba box fill. And obviously poor and bad highs, not debatable. So, yep, I mean, you know, Bugamma is 47.70. Not that difficult. Alpezy says, ETH BTC, talk to me nicely. Boy, ETH BTC does not look that Gucci Magucci, but daily candle close. And once we get below this level, that's when we start to get interested, right? So let's see if it can do a failed auction. That would be ideal because we have not done a sweep. So, you know, let's look for a failed auction. These are daily candle closes. So, yeah, we're getting ready to start thinking about Ether. Yeah, ETH did its own little golden poquito bounce, Bugatti. What's going on, Cookie? Early stream today. No, this is still kind of late. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to be early. Alpezy says, I'm struggling with updating my stop loss. Would you suggest putting it under the wick from earlier today? 100%. Yes, that would for sure be an invalidation. That's an extremely bullish reaction. In fact, you could actually argue that it turned that sweep level into support, Alpezy. So yeah, I mean, a stop below that is for sure valid if you want. But these are, I mean, we talked about it yesterday. I mean, this is why you have to know, like, you have to be able to look at shit and, you know, like this is obvious. These are all bad and poor highs, right? So you've got, I mean, some of this got grabbed already before the poo-poo, but that's an extremely bullish reaction. We already know that, you know, our next short level is up here. These are still bad highs and poor highs. So high probability it's going to get swapped. You never want it to look like that. I mean, I think most of you guys are starting to figure it out. So yeah, on top of that, Bugammas are looking for 47.70. So, I mean, it's just the same as yesterday, you know, no short yet. If you got filled on a long, that's fucking awesome. Just keep it dead ass simple. Bugatti. Drojan says, I'm an ETH maxi and I'm a sad panda. You're going to be a sad panda for a couple more days, but we're getting to a point where I'm going to probably look to start thinking about longing ETH. So you'll be a sad panda for maybe like a couple days, maybe like 1 or 2 more weeks, but it might be time we flip. So Joker says, I caught the 7.5 at 47050 and it went straight down to the target of the single print in 5 crazy minutes. Attaboy. Yep. Grabbed every single print and then it just went. Again, extremely bullish. Isn't that crazy? Let's just grab all the fucking single prints, tap and go. Bugatti. I hope this shit is making sense, y'all. It's pretty easy stuff. Yeah, I don't know if I would have put, we already talked about it. A bunch of you guys were asking about the long opportunity here, you know, and I was like, I think waiting for the 45,000 is better. So even if I was awake, I don't think I would have been filled or added to my position. So all I have is like my 15 Bitcoin still, and that's about it. Mr. Viper says, had blind limits in while driving through a snowstorm. You were catching a knife while driving through a snowstorm. I like it. But that's boss. But you know what? Like, it's not like you just put random shit. I mean, we talked about it quite extensively yesterday. We talked about the fibs. We talked about the single print grab. So even though you put blind limits in, at least it was logical. And, you know, we talked about all this shit yesterday for a couple of hours. So good stuff. Just grab the single print and go, right? I mean, remember when we were talking about like if you were to go to the PDEQ, you know, lose the 45.2, go tap 45,000 and then tuck right back in. It did that conceptually on that support level, right? Lose it, grab all the single prints, tuck back in, 30-minute candle close above. That's extremely bullish, Bugatti. Tio Soti says, I got stopped out in profit by the single print. So stupid since I've seen this a lot of times. Shouldn't have done this error. Never mind, I paid my lesson. Tio Soti, first off, I think that's a great attitude to have. And now you know, Tio Soti. Chat, what do we say about the single prints? I hate to do it to you, Tio Soti, but you're in a great shape. But do you know what we say about single prints, Tio Soti? You don't want to be the guy that gets stopped out of the single print. Yeah, so it's okay, but you know why that's so hard-coded into my brain? Because my dumb ass has gone stopped out on the single prints plenty of times. So ain't nothing wrong with it, Tio Soti. God knows that I've gotten stopped out of the single prints many times, but that's how you really learn, right? So best believe, Tio Soti, I guarantee that you will never get stopped. If you're going to get stopped out, it's going to be if it deviates outside and away from it. You know, but it's all good, brother. Tio Soti says, of course I know. That's why I'm a little bit pissed off. That's okay, Tio Soti. And yesterday, I think it was Alpezy and a couple of other people. They were talking about where I would put my stop loss. And we kind of went over that, but that's okay. Tio Soti, nothing you can do, but now you know. And I'll tell you what, there's lions here right now, Tio Soti, that are hearing you talk about it, me saying it, and it'll still happen to them. It just takes a couple of times for it to happen to you, for you to really get that lesson in. So it's all good, Tio Soti, because I've been that dude too, but isn't that crazy? Yeah, so that's why, like, you know, we always say that. Do not be the guy that gets stopped out of the single print. But, you know, it's a great lesson. You learned it. That's awesome. You still juiced. It wasn't like the economic or the financial juice that you were looking for, Tio Soti. But don't get it twisted, brother. You juice the fuck up. And it's priceless what you learned, Tio Soti. Because if you really, truly did learn it, and you never make that mistake again, you're talking about hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of dollars as we progress through the years, right? That you're going to be able to juice up and protect. Skip Moha says, oh no, 2 hours only? Yes, but did you hear my plan though? Tomorrow, I'm going to try to show up hella early, right? And then Thursday, I'm going to show up hella early too, because CPI comes out an hour before market open. Hayato says, with that being said, where is your invalidation point for BTC short attempts? It depends on which attempt. So for example, Hayato, somebody was asking about if it sweeps right here, would you take a short? Yeah, I might. We were talking about how if the open interest gets reset right there, right? So if that is the short attempt you're talking about, what would be my invalidation for that attempt? It would be a higher high, right? If it's a swing failure pattern. It kind of depends on what level you're talking about and what the edge that actually plays out. I don't know if this is going to be a swing fail or if it's going to be a failed auction. I don't know if it's going to be a Kimba crown with the third hit being the biggest and something like that. I don't know what the open interest in CVD is going to look like right there. So it all depends on how it plays out. But whichever structure forms or whichever edge we take, maybe it's like a single print that is left up there and then it, maybe it does some goofy shit like this. It does this. There's a single print right here. It grabs it and then it goes. Maybe it's a fib play. Maybe it's a structure play. So every strategy or edge that you implement should have its own invalidation. Some people are going to take like the big daddy, like Fibonacci play. And so if you're going to live by Fibonacci, you're probably going to die by the Fibonacci, and your invalidation is going to be, a deviation outside of golden pocket or something like that. So it just depends on which level and what edge you're anticipating or you get, Hayato. But every single edge has its own invalidation. Hayato says, I would be interested in your take at 48K level. Well, the thing is, Hayato, I'm not going to put anything blind. And so whatever edge it gives me, I'm going to have an invalidation for that edge. If it's a swing fail, then I'm going to make the higher high my invalidation. If it does a failed auction, it's probably a higher high. Sounds good, but I'm not going to try to get the top. I'm going to let the top form always. I guess the only thing that's really different, Jingao, is that we have CPI on Thursday, correct? And we have options expirations from CPI on Friday. And so you already know what I'm doing. I'm putting a little bit more of a priority on traditional markets, right? And we looked at Bugammas earlier today, and it looks like it's going to try to pull it to 47.70, maybe even a little bit higher. So as we approach CPI day, we want to be able to, make sure that we're interpreting traditional markets correctly, because that will be one edge that will help us out, right? We do the same shit every single time. This is like our 20th CPI on stream. So today, I'm going to see if it can get to 47.70 today on S&P. But principally, nothing has really changed. We were talking about, this is the first area where we might want to look for bounces. That's the shorts. So nothing's really changed. Extremely bullish reaction right there. 30-minute body candle closed above. So, it's like the previous resistance just got turned into support. That was previous resistance. We had marked it. We talked about how it could go to the PDEQ and bounce, and it almost damn near pixel perfectly bounced PDEQ. So it front ran PDEQ and had an extremely bullish reaction, turned previous resistance into support. Nothing has really changed. A bunch of lions got filled long. Some people got stopped out in profit, but we all juicing. Not arguable. You can clearly see that those are bad highs. Yeah. So just pull out TPO levels, identify, poor highs, poor lows, bad lows. Take a look at volume profile, make sure that you can read the S&P correctly, and then just do your best. Ecto says, so get in long before ETF and sell the news event while retail gets roasted, or what? Yeah, Ecto, make sure that you rewind and get caught up on yesterday's highlights because we spent like 3 hours talking about that. Yeah, I would, just common sense kind of tells me that I would expect ETF approval and then seeing a pump to 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, whatever, trap retail, and then have a pretty significant pullback to maybe like the 30s. You're probably the type to disregard data from the past as well. I think there's a strong correlation to the guys that look at, oh, I wonder what happened before. That usually trickles into, oh, I wonder what happened on stream yesterday. 0x, yeah, Rice says, did you talk about ETH? In a way, yes, because we talked about ETH BTC so many times already. So I can't do anything with ETH until I get a bullish edge, and that has always been the plan. So far, there is no swing failure pattern, so the next structural edge that I'm going to wait for would be like a failed auction. Once we get above the level of interest, then I'll actually think about taking a long on ETH USDT. Yeah, nothing has really changed though since yesterday, right? And even if things had changed, the process in which I identify levels and try to find out where I would be interested in opening a position is always the same. So open up your Addis, open up your volume profile thing, pull some fibs, take a look at single prints, imbalances, and the shit that overlaps and has the most amount of confluence would be my levels of interest. You know what I mean? Try to identify, bad highs, poor highs, bad lows, poor lows. Look at the candle structure. Does that look bullish? Start with the things that are not debatable. You know what I mean? Just go off of data. How many, what was the open interest delta? On this wick down, how many longs got closed out? How many longs reopened? How many shorts opened? The math is all there. The data is all there. So start with the data, things that are not arguable, and then based off of how that data has performed in the past, start to formulate a plan. So in terms of where I would want to short, where I would want to maybe long, none of those levels have changed, okay? And then you've got S&P trying to move up higher. You've got bad highs and poor highs up top, which means that you have a statistically high probability to sweep. Some people got in on the single print fill longs. Some people got stopped out. Some people are about to get stopped out on their short from yesterday. Yeah, I think we all have like varying executions, but like I said, the things that are not arguable, we're all looking at the same shit. You're not going to be able to argue if that's a bad high. That's a bad high. Okay. And that means that at some point it's going to get swept. So as long as you know that, when you enter a short, then God bless you. As long as you understand that you have a high probability that high is going to get swept and you still want to take a short, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Let us the fuck up, set your stop loss on a higher high, get nasty with it. Some people, were awake for it, and so they were able to enter on a long on that wick. Awesome. We talked about that. We beat that shit to death last night. Single print, grab and go. Not that difficult. Turn that bitch into support. You had a 30-minute candle close above the support, so that's clearly got turned into support, and that's bullish. Single print, grab and go, that's bullish. Poor highs, that's bullish. S&P is trying to go to 4770, that's bullish. So end of January, I'm going to really start focusing on stream shit. I have a whole bunch of Discord updates that are going to be coming up. For example, I'm going to have like an OG/veterans only section. So if you've been around for, I think, 8 months plus or 6 months plus, you're going to have like your own little dedicated Discord area. You know what I mean? So you don't have to kind of get mixed in with like maybe the newer lions, right? We got tutorial videos coming out. We got Nerd Out Saturdays coming out. We got scalping sessions coming up. We got altcoin / shitcoin trading coming up. We got weekend streams coming up. We got gaming streams coming up. We're going to get back to Gamba streams. Okay. Y'all want to see me do, $10,000 a hand on blackjack, exclamation kick. We're going to get back to that. More IRL streams. We're going to do gaming streams. Y'all ready to run a squad on COD and do some Warzone? Every time I kill somebody, I'm going to go Bugatti. Every time I get a headshot, I'm going to go, the math is the math. Hey, shout outs to proximity chat. Shout outs to proximity chat. Every time I'm stalking a motherfucker, I'm going to be like, the math is the math. The math is the math. You know what I mean? We're gonna bring back the poker tournaments. We're gonna get nasty with it, y'all. So you just need to be patient with me because, you can kind of tell with my traveling schedule, but my work schedule is going to be pretty hectic until like end of January, but starting like February, I'm going to be dedicating quite a bit of time. And then obviously like starting July, August, September, my work schedule starts to ramp up. So, but hopefully by then, we've made such evolutionary progress on Kimba.tv. We might have like other streamers on the channel, etc. So
let's get it. Kimba, what's happening?
Yeah, can you imagine, some motherfucker is going to get killed and on the death chat, all they're going to hear is, yeah, the math is the math. Sanja says, Kimba, do you know which Addis templates are coming up? TPO, order flow, liquidity. Are you talking about the templates that I'm building and I'm going to share with y'all? I'm going to start with TPO and then order flow and then liquidity. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to get y'all to get familiar with this because, on the left-hand side, you have dashboard, right? Oh, I got to log back in. But yeah, dashboard and then trader resources, right? But below trader resources is going to be a section that says templates. And you guys will have access to my EXO, my Addis, and we might even have a custom Kimba indicator. Okay, pretty soon here. Okay, see where it says official indicators? We might have one that says Lionheart indicator or a Kimba indicator. All right, we got a lot of shit going on. So yeah, keep an eye on this because there's gonna be an area that's called templates and I'll put all my shit up in there for y'all. Okay, but again, February, is when I'm going to start to be able to focus on all this shit. So you just got to be patient with me. Siavash, can you explain why altcoin's doing so bad today in comparison to Biddy? The altcoin BTC pair is not bullish. It's bad. Just look at ETH BTC, for example. I'm sure I could pull up .BTC, all the, altcoin BTC pairs. But we've been talking about this. So, if you're somebody that's like, why are the alts doing so bad? I told y'all I'm being patient on DOT. I think I have another opportunity to get in on a long. I've been patient on ETH BTC for like fucking weeks, my boy. Yeah, so I've been saying it for months, but I think with altcoins, I'm going to have an opportunity later on down the road. And none of this pullback, none of this dumping on altcoins surprises me one bit. In fact, it's getting me kind of turned on. Because whether it's ETH or DOT, some of these altcoins are getting to levels where I'm going to start looking to, start thinking about longing. Yeah, but honestly, it's not a surprise one bit, Siavash. I've been saying for a couple of weeks now, even when DOT was popping off like that, I said, I'm going to wait for the BTC pair to come back down, and I don't think I've missed anything yet. So for me and most Lions, it's really not that much of a surprise, to be honest with you, Siavash. But to answer your question, it's because the altcoin BTC pair is no bueno, meaning there's more liquidity flowing into Biddy, okay? And naturally and rightfully so because of all that ETF bullshit. Jingao says that hoodie looks too damn good. I'll tell you what. The new design is coming out next week. So I'll do like a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 merch giveaway tomorrow too. Yep, Tafisa, that's correct. Yeah, so let's do like a big ass merch giveaway tomorrow, and then the Liquidation Lions design will be discontinued forever. The Liquidation Lions design will be discontinued forever. And it's gonna be version 2.0 was gonna come out next week. So we'll do a big ass giveaway tomorrow on merch too. Yannick says, I'm rocking my white hoodie now. Let's go. I'm wearing my black Liquidation Lions hoodie right now. Rashafan, Nirvana says, is there really a close correlation between SPX and BTC? Well, there's a couple ways that I would answer that. The first things first is Nirvana. Here, I'm going to turn the music off now. First things first, Nirvana, never take my word for it, okay? I would always want you to be skeptical of everything that I say so that you have an incentive to figure it out yourself as well, okay? So I would say yes, but you should put up a side-by-side, right? You know how to do this, right? You go to this little thing. You could watch 3 assets. I mean, I also go like this. I've got S&P, crypto, dollar index, and then gold, right? But put charts side by side and observe the correlation yourself. Alrighty. You can also ask Discord. There's people that trade traditional markets way more than I do. I'll get into a traditional market position once in a while. But there's people that trade and scalp traditional markets, S&P, NASDAQ, every single day. Make sure you're in the Discord and do your own research, have your own personal experience with them. Obviously, you can ask me and then also talk with your brothers and sisters as well. Alrighty. So yes, I would just think that S&P or NASDAQ, it shows you and represents the mass psychology of risk appetite. Okay, but if you watch it side by side, I think you'll notice the correlation. Sometimes it's really, really strong. Sometimes it's loose. Okay, there are patterns that you can start to pick up on. So, for example, S&P might be pumping and Bitcoin might not. Okay, and that has happened many, many times. And so you can usually say, okay, there's a higher chance that it gets caught up during Macaulay or it's going to nuke after. Sometimes this will be shitting itself and Bitcoin will be kind of bullish. Okay, most of the time it just catches up later on and it nukes. So it's about watching and paying attention and being able to pick up on the patterns. Okay, but things like, oh, S&P is pumping, but Bitcoin is dumping. Oh, S&P is dumping, but Bitcoin isn't dumping yet. Those things happen hundreds of times. And so it's about being able to pick up on those and potentially juice on those opportunities. Alrighty, Nirvana. Shout out PSG. Mo Guy says, since we got liquidity at the bottom, going down to 45K would change the structure, right? Yeah, in fact, my long stop loss is probably now below that wick. We talked about it earlier in the morning when a couple of you guys were asking about my long stop loss. But yeah, I would probably put it below that wick now because going lower than that wick would not be good. Rada says, Young Lion's been craving that ETH BTC sweep for a while already. We stay patiently waiting. Yes, I see you, Rada. So these are daily candle closes. You still have 6 hours, 5 hours and a half on the daily candle close. You could get a sweep on the daily. Alrighty, the day's not done yet. Look at the reaction. That'd be hella goofy. And that's why we wait. And while we were waiting for this, we were very clear that the sweep structure would be an easy one to play. But it's also about any sort of bullish edge is fine. So we talked about how it could be a failed auction. It could be like a hidden bull div that it starts to build. It could be a regular bull div. It could sweep that one more time, sweep of the sweep. And maybe that's a regular bull div on the daily. It's whatever. I'm going to be a little bit patient with it and let it do its thing. It broke that level, but now we have to wait for a couple of days to see what kind of bullish edge we get. So yeah, let's do a recap real quick. In the morning, we looked at the Boo Gammas. Okay, you know me, as we approach CPI, FOMC, GDP, any of those like traditional market triggering events, I'm going to pay close attention to Boo Gammas. And so 4770 open interest leaning to the pull side. That means that it's going to try to pull it. So 4770, we marked that level this morning when we were down here. This move, not surprising one bit. That is a bad, I would say it's not that bad, but it's a weak and it's a poor high. So you've got high probability that you're going to sweep that at some point. Yesterday, we identified 48.2 and 49.2 as the potential levels where I would think about shorting. Still have 15 Bitcoin left on the long. The TPs haven't changed. The TP, I'll shave 5 right there, and then let the rest run if we want to go to 50, 52. Something new that you guys asked was, if this is a swing failure pattern at 47.3, would you take a short? As long as I'm not on my flight, yes, I would. If this swing fails right there and the open interest looks good, then yes, I would love like a hidden bear div or a regular bear div. So it's the same as always. I would need open interest confluence and CVD divergence confluence. I'm not going to be here, but you guys already know that on daily candle close, if we open outside of value area high and we get back into value area high, then you've got a full rotation play. So you've got the previous day value area high, value area low rotation. Obviously, the previous day point of control and EQ would act as support. So those should be TPs if you do want to play a full rotation short. Let's take a look at fresh KingFisher and HyblockCapital before I have to go. So that kind of confluences with that sweep we were talking about. You've got a Z value liquidity level of about 47,450, showing 19,000. So that would be like that sweep that we talked about, that you guys were asking about. Let's go to the 7-day. The 7-day really didn't change too much. So pretty same as yesterday. You still have your liquidation level at 48,350 with a Z level of 111,000. And then your liquidity level at 42.2 is 96,000. And then the 1 month hasn't changed, okay? And we don't really need to see that. The Z level, again, at 48,000 is around 316,000, but the 39.5, 39.6, you're looking at 365,000, 300,000, 291, 260, right? So that really hasn't changed. We can go to high. This is KingFisher all leverage. So again, all the liquidity is pretty much to the downside. All righty, you got a little bit up, yeah, I mean, you've got a little bit up this way. It's pretty much similar to HyblockCapital. We'll do Opti, which is the statistically highest probable leverage levels that are going to get swept. Ecto says long shakeout still possible. Yeah, and like the long shakeout that I'm talking about is clearing out all those poor lows at like the 33, 32, 31s. That's the real long shakeout, in my opinion, Ecto, if you remember. That's really it. And then aside from that, pull out your TPO ranges, your value ranges, identify good highs, good lows, bad lows. Watch for the previous day level full rotation play, sprinkle on some, confluence. There you go. There's Opti. So maybe a little bit more grab, potentially. I think ETF gets approved. I've been saying this for the last couple of days. I think ETF gets approved. We see a nice little pop to like the 48, 49. We already pulled out the fibs and we looked at the 50, 51, 52 levels. So it could go there. Would not surprise me. That's why I'm going to let a little bit of the long run after 49 in case it wants to do some goofy shit and go to 50, 51, 52. Okay. So conceptually, I would expect retail FOMO longing the top, and then I would see a correction. But I'm not scared. Like, I'm actually really looking forward to longing big time at the 30, 31, 32, 33, whatever that level is. Okay, but I would think, you know, we're going to see a nice little pop after the ETF is approved. I don't know how long it's going to stay up there, but I would, you know, expect it to have a nice little correction after we get that FOMO trap. Something like that. But there's a reason why. I mean, part of it is work because I do need to stop by the office tomorrow. But I'm going to try to start streaming at around 5 o'clock Pacific time, 5 in the morning, because of the ETF news lingering, you know? So tomorrow is going to be like a 16-hour stream, y'all. And then same with Thursday CPI. So I hope I see you guys bright and early tomorrow. We'll jump right into TA. I'll probably be hyper aggressive to see if we can get into like positions live. Even if I'm already in a position, I might try to like get something live with y'all, you know, just to have a little bit of fun. 19 minutes on the hourly candle close. Traditional markets are still running. You know what it is. Longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bears, bulls, we're all lions, y'all. We got that ETF thing hanging above us. We got CPI on Thursday. I don't know what Sato's doing. Bugatti. All right, y'all, stay safe. Have a great day. Love you guys. Peace, everybody.
닥쳐, 이 씨발년아!